Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling. This starts the season of love. The season of love and glitter. That means one thing. It means I get to make Valentine's projects tonight, and I'm way okay with that.
This is Last Thing Thrifted. I would like to thank my co-host tonight, Shelly from Repurposed My Way, Marika from Marika Creations, and Annie from Crafting with Indie Annie Jones. You're going to find the links to their channels and this playlist in my description box below. Since this is the last thing thrifted, let's take a look at the last thing I thrifted. I just picked this up and I think it is really cool. Do you know what it is? Do you? It is a funeral wreath form. This is what florists would use to create a wreath for someone that has passed. And it is an old one. The new ones now are made with a plastic surround. And if you take a look at the foam inside, that's not styrofoam. That's something called Oasis. Now, if you flip it over, you're going to see that there's a hole here, and that's how they would have hung this thing on an easel or whatever type of display they would have had available, just so it wouldn't tip over. Well, I'm going to have to amend this because I'm going to be using the back side of this wreath, not the front. That means step one is Blue and I have to mend this hole. I am going to be using some brown packing paper and wood glue to mend it. And I'm just going to shove random pieces of that packing paper down inside. And then I will feed some wood glue into the hole and then try to fold into the hole the part that was ripped out. You can see it's kind of flipped over, folded over. Well, I'm just going to push it down inside and hold it firm so that way I don't have a hole anymore. And I'm sorry I'm bouncing the camera, but I'm pushing this thing with all my might. It's sturdier than you would think. Once I get the hole filled appropriately, I'm going to set it aside to dry overnight. Now that that hole with the wood glue and the paper has dried, I can flip it back over and treat the backside. And I am doing what I'm doing for two reasons. First of all, I'm trimming off the parts that exceed beyond the rim of that paper mache heart because I want this to lay flat against the wall. And the only reason I'm not pulling it all out is because I'm going to be utilizing the Oasis that is left. And if you're not familiar with what Oasis is, it is a styrofoam for live flowers because it will absorb water like a sponge almost, which means you can pick live flower stems inside it to keep them fresh. So I am just taking my knife, trying to avoid my helper, and I am trimming flush all of this Oasis. Of course, I will be keeping the scrap Oasis because I have plans for it. You know I do. Once I get the Oasis trimmed, I need to seal it in because when it's not filled with water, it is extremely crumbly. The way I'm going to seal in this Oasis, to encapsulate it, is to use some scrap shipping packaging. This is an old Amazon bag. I keep these because they're extremely handy for all kinds of things. And right now, it's going to help me with this project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my wreath onto it so that way I can trace it. And I'm going to trace it just a little bit bigger to make sure I have the right size. And I'm going to trace it into two parts, the left side and the right side, so I have them independent. Once I start to push this paper down around the Oasis, the paper will distort. That's why I'm tracing it in two parts. Plus the paper's not big enough, so I had to anyway. And when I have both sides traced, I will cut them out. Here we have my packing paper. And what I'm doing is I am tucking it down in between the Oasis itself and the paper mache heart. I am gluing it in place with my hot glue gun. And I've turned down the temperature of my hot glue gun because I have never in all my days have I ever got hot glue near Oasis. I don't know how it will react. I'm guessing it's gonna melt the heck out of it and I'm just being careful. So I hot glue all my little paper into place, and if I happen to rip a little section, I just take more paper and I hot glue it right over the rip. As I go, I trim edges because I want the paper to sit nice and flush. I don't want to see it from the front. Once I have all my paper glued into place, we are going to apply a protective coating. And I think you know what that might be. Nash knows. He knows Mom's gonna bust out the Podge. Not just any Podge. This is the dishwasher safe Podge. I need to make sure that if this paper and the paper mache heart get wet, that they are sealed to some degree. I want to protect this because I want to keep this. I love this wreath. I think it is wicked cool, and I'm very excited that I found it. And I found it at my favorite resale shop, and if I didn't mention it, it only cost me $3. Once I get a nice healthy coat of Podge on the back, I'm going to set it aside to dry. Then I'll flip it over and I'll make sure that the front is coated just as well as the back. The reason I was so excited about this wreath was the texture. Look at the texture of this thing. Does it not look like tree bark? I think it does. Here's some real tree bark. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that heart looks a lot like this. So that's what this wreath is going to become. It's going to become a heart-shaped tree. Okay, I am going to ride the line between realism and fantasy. I want this to look like it just escaped the pages of a fairy tale. Which means I really need to make this look like bark. This needs to look like the bark of a tree. I am starting with black. This is ink. It is a chalk paint by Waverly. And I am working this black down deep into all the little crevasses and the dips and the dives and the dents. So that way, when I paint over it, you're going to get depth. You're going to get that depth of field like you do on real bark. So after I get this thing entirely covered with the black, then I let it dry and I will move on to the next color because this is going to be all about layers. Actually, 4 layers in total. That ink chalk paint has dried and now I'm moving on to the next color. This color is called Slate and it is also a chalk paint. And the brand is Hello Hobby. This is basically a dry brush method. I just put a little tiny bit of paint on my brush. And by turning my brush on the side, I'm making extra sure that it doesn't get down into the little crevasses that we made sure that I painted black. Once I cover the entire wreath with this lovely slate, I'll set it aside to dry, and then we will go for layer number 3. And layer number 3 is another chalk paint by Waverly, and the color is Silver Lining, and it is pretty. And I'm using the same method as I did with the slate, but I'm even more light-handed than I was before, just very, very lightly hitting all the little raised areas of my bark. And I don't know about you, but I think this bark is coming alive. Bark! You may have noticed to achieve that depth of field that I was after, I started with the darkest color and then I'm making my way to the lightest color. Once my silver lining has dried, I'm going to put the final coat on this little heart bark wreath. Real bark is different from tree to tree. And my tree is a fantasy tree, so it can be anything I want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a different hue to the entire thing by putting a wash, a simple wash over the entire wreath. And I'm using a folk art matte paint by Plaid, and this is called Asphalt. So this is going to give me some brown hues, and all the paint that I applied prior is going to gently absorb a little bit of this brown. Once my entire wreath is covered, I will set it aside to dry, and then we need other elements. A tree isn't a tree unless it has branches, so I will need to make some branches. To make my branches, I am going to use some of my very, very old wired rope ribbon. I purchased the rope ribbon years and years and years ago on clearance after Christmas, and I love this stuff. Super handy. I am cutting my rope ribbon into different lengths to create individual branches, and then I'm going to cover them in some leftover napkins from Christmas. Yeah, I even keep those. A couple of you might notice have water rings on them from glasses, but hey, they're useful. A little thicker than toilet paper and a little thinner than a paper towel. The way I'm doing this is I'm taking the little napkin and I'm tearing strips off so that the edges are jagged. Then I'm covering the rope ribbon in Mod Podge, and then I'm going to layer the little napkin on top, kind of squishing it and scrunching it as I go to emulate bark. By using some oven wire, I am going to create some little twigs coming out of my branch. I cut a piece of wire the length that I want, and using the end of the wire, I create a hole in the rope ribbon. I will hot glue the little wire twig into place, and I will cover it as well with the Mod Podge and scrunched up napkin. I even add a couple of pieces of wire coming out the top of my branch to make it look even more realistic. I will create 3 full branches and a few tiny itty bitty little branches in all. Then I set everything aside to dry. Here's one of my branches, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. It really has the texture of a branch. And now I need to make it look like the color of a branch. I am going to be painting all of my little branches exactly the same way I did the heart wreath. I'm starting with the black ink, then I'll move to the slate, then the silver lining, and then I will hit it with that asphalt wash. Once they're all dry, I can apply them to my heart wreath. I will create holes in the wreath. I will push these in to that oasis, and I will glue them in place, and then I will disguise the joints with the napkin and paint them out just like I did everything else. Branches need leaves unless it's the middle of winter and then they're all on the ground. But in this case, it is spring and I need leaves. So what I did is I jumped into Canva and my search was heart-shaped leaf. And this is what came up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the back of my paper before I cut out my leaves. I'm painting the back of the paper with a beautiful chalk paint in the color of sage. This is another Hello Hobby paint, and this is one of my all-time favorite greens. Love it. You may be saying, Dawn, why are you painting the back of the paper? That's because some of these leaves backs might show, and I don't want to see white. So there you go. So once I get the back painted, I will set it aside to dry, then I will cut out my little leaves, and then I will glue them using Elmer's all-purpose glue onto my wreath and the branches. I have a tree, I have branches, I have leaves. How about if there was a big branch that was cut off of my tree and it would leave the rings behind? So I'm going to create a little nubbins, like a little place where a branch was cut off of my tree. I am using the lid from a heart-shaped paper mache box, and I'm going to paint it with little rings, little heart-shaped rings. I'm going to be giving the lid a couple of coats of paint, and I'm once again using chalk paint, and this is also from Waverly, and the color is cashew. Once that second coat is dry, I will come back and very lightly sketch on what will be painted out as my little rings. Then I will paint those rings with a Waverly chalk paint in the color of hazelnut. Once this has dried, I am going to fill the recess of the lid with scrap paper and cardboard. Then I will glue it onto my wreath using hot glue. The divots and the areas that are recessed around my little nubbins will get filled in with that napkin and Mod Podge, just like I did where my little branches met my wreath. My little nubbin stump and the napkin filler will get painted out in those 4 steps, just like the rest of my wreath. I thrifted this adorable little robin, and it is vintage. She is old. I thrifted her quite a long time ago. Blue thinks it's real. He's like, tweet, tweet, birdie, I want to play. I love you, Blue. You're so cute. Well, I needed 2 birds, and since I only have one, I decided to PNG them and print out their likeness. And then I'm going to use these in my wreath. Since the goal is to have everything look like the pages of a fairy tale book, this is absolutely perfect. I will also be using those large pink flowers. So pretty. I cut out 3 each of each style of bird, and I layered them. And I layered them with multiple pieces of cardstock in between, so they kind of poofed out. So they had kind of a dimensional feel to them, even though they are extraordinarily flat. To enhance my little birdie, I have added a tiny little white dot in the center of each of their eyes, and now I am covering the entire eye with a gloss Mod Podge, so it has a little bit of a sheen, like a real eye would. You may notice I gave them real feathers for their wings and their tails. I will also be adding some fine glitter to my little birdies, and the color will be black holographic. I would say a couple of lovebirds need a nest, so I'm going to be using one of these thrifted nests on my little tree. I won't be using the eggs though, because I'm going to be doing some flat eggs, just like the flat birds. So it's all very consistent.
My Valentine's projects from tonight are complete. Let's take a look.
My thrifted paper mache wreath form now looks like a tree, complete with bark, branches, even a little love knot stump. Don't forget the leaves and some beautiful flowers. A couple of feathered lovebirds live in this tree. They have a nest and some eggs that are about to hatch. Here's the complete wreath, loaded with some handmade Valentines. The Valentines, as well as my bird images, will be available to my members. I love that everything is paper. It really does seem to be like a book, like the pages of a fairy tale have come to life. This tree wreath is magical, it's whimsical, and it's unique. I have never done anything like this, and I've never seen anything like this. And I am really, really pleased with the way it came out. This has been Last Thing Thrifted. Once again, I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Shelly from Repurposed My Way, Marika from Marika Creations, and Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones. You're going to find the links to their channels and this playlist in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anyone that likes DIYs, thrifting, flipping, repurposing, vintage, holiday, shabby chic, and Valentine's decor. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I love hearing from you. Ring the bell for notifications of all my upcoming videos. Subscribe. It's a great way to support my channel, as is joining. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.